They should be able to hear you now. What's going on, guys? We're about to go into the intro. This is how we're gonna look today because we have people showing up. So see you in a second. What's going on, you guys? Lord Addict here with King David. We're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3. We got some stuff going on about Spider-Man 4, some Blade conversation, some Fantastic Four, and Jonathan Majors might actually get replaced in the MCU. So we're going to go over that a little bit. So what's going on, King? What's going on this week? What's funny is even at the end of that, it's believable. Like, yeah, I see you guys. All right, talk now.
Oh, we're
Yeah, he was
muted.
muted for like 2 minutes. All
Um,
right, yes,
no, not
yeah, he's
again.
talking about beef. That's what he was
Yeah,
talking about.
pause.
Talking about
yo,
beef.
yo, beef on Netflix, man. Attic is crazy. That's a wild boy. Nah, yeah. That show is absolutely nuts. I'm watching that, and I'm also watching. I watched the comedy special called Monique. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest comedy person here recently. I don't know. I should actually probably watch some comedies with the situation I'm going through. But
Hell yeah, you should watch comedy. Laughter is a great therapy, sir.
yeah, so let's get on let's get on with the news, man. So apparently Spider-Man 4 might have an August 28th, 2025 release date.
Yes.
How many movies so what do you feel about that? You know, do you think that's a good date?
No, any day they drop Spider-Man is a good date. I don't care what it is. So yeah, that's a good date.
Yeah, and this is how many movies should Tom Holland sign up for? They want to do at least 2 more trilogies. That's a lot. 2 trilogies? 2
Yeah.
more?
As an actor, you worry about him catching fatigue from the character. So, and I know why Sony and whatchamacallit went with such a young Spider-Man, because they wanted him to grow into the character. They wanted to have years on this guy, and it's working. I mean, the deal is working. Just keep him happy, keep him, make sure that he's healthy. They picked a good guy though, in and out of as acting. You don't hear anything going on with Tom Holland. Just very professional at all times. I don't know. I just hope he doesn't catch fatigue with the character and just wants to
Yeah,
get
because he's
out.
already been in one trilogy, multiple movies with that trilogy. Like,
Hmm.
it,
He likes it though.
yeah, he does like it, but how long before he don't like it?
Yeah,
Because
I just as many as he's willing to sign up for, and just good storytelling.
good story. Yeah, it seems like some people are okay with being in the same position for a certain amount of time, as long as they feel like their character is being handled correctly and they're enjoying the
Yeah.
role.
And there's
And
growth.
yeah, you got to make more money too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's regardless.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
actually, let's get into that, man. How much should Marvel pay Tom? Because apparently Christian Bale got paid $10 million for Love and Thunder. That's a lot. A lot of. He's a big
Christian
actor,
Bale.
though.
Yeah, he's a huge actor. I mean,
And
he's
Jonathan Majors is getting $20 million for the Kong Dynasty. Maybe.
the Kang Dynasty.
The King
Um,
Dynasty.
yeah, he already signed those contracts, so a deal is a deal. Uh,
You think they would pay him out just to get rid of him?
if it happens, if it goes that way,
Because I
if
feel
it
like
goes
he would
that
take him
way,
to court.
they, he's going to get his money regardless. All right, unless you had a conduct clause that's inside his contract, then there's wiggle room. And a lot of these contracts do have a conduct clause, so maybe he's supposed to get 80% of his net gross from the role.
I
I'm not too quick to judge. I don't know. I've heard so many different things and so much stuff going on. A lot of things happen in domestic situations that blur the lines of reality and fiction. So I don't know.
I think it just comes down to it doesn't even matter what they feel Tom's worth. What does Tom feel Tom's worth? Because once you get
Yeah.
because since he's been probably the most balanced Spider-Man, and he's got a lot of bargaining chips going in, especially this many movies in. Like Marvel is not dictating what he gets paid; he's going to dictate what he gets paid. And obviously, he can't go in there and ask for an extravagant amount, but I feel like he can ask for a way above average in the industry, and they will give it to him.
Well, you know what? Robert Downey Jr. understood his worth, and made sure that he got everybody paid. Freudian slip again. Wealth and worth. And now Robert Downey Jr. I mean, he formulated his exit strategy, made sure everybody on the staff got paid, like all the actors got paid because of Robert Downey Jr. These movies, but they have to live up to the billing. So if these movies keep breaking records, then his bank account should break records as well.
Yeah. So apparently, there's some Blade info going out there, King.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
We've known for a while if this movie's going to be rated R. What I want
Mhm.
to hear from you is first off, do you think that a rated R Blade is a must? And two,
Yes.
do you think that this is like, you know how like there's different rated R levels? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like that one where it's just like, okay, this barely got hit in the rated R. Then there's that one, okay, a little bit above. And then the other one's like, okay, do we let this in the movie theater or not? Like, what kind of rated R you think Blade's gonna be?
Harsh language, subtle nudity, and violence.
You think it's gonna
Right?
be around the same what the original trilogy was?
No.
You think it's gonna be
No.
more?
Well, okay. Well, how Disney handles rated R? It's because of human on human violence,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for them, that is a rated R movie. I think that's where we get it because fighting vampires, regardless to what, even though they are fictional characters, it's still portrayed as a human fighting a human. So I think that's how they're gonna see it. And partial nudity, you might see some cheek meat here and there, and then cursing. You might have a curse or two here and there, and that will push it to an R. For Disney because they're really looking at Disney Plus, right? So this movie is going to do what it does in the box office. It's just how do we put it to Disney Plus?
Yeah, got a question, man. Since it's rated R, do you think they even put that on Disney Plus or they put that on Hulu?
I think it might go to Hulu.
Yeah, I think it would too. I don't think it would go to Disney Plus. I think if they start entertaining this rated R factor with like Deadpool, they're gonna put like a Marvel section that's in Disney Plus in Hulu, and it'll probably have all the same things that's Marvel in Disney Plus, but it will be there as well with the rated R ones. Because I don't see them putting rated R anything in Disney Plus.
Yeah, you're right. Could be too. Yeah.
Yeah. So after three different writers, King, that this movie's had a pretty chaotic development cycle. Three different writers, two delays. Looks like there's some work stoppages. What kind of faith do you have in this movie?
And Blade,
Yeah, and Blade. Do you think it's gonna be a hit?
I think it's gonna be fantastic. A lot of the work stoppages and stuff was the phases was thrown off, right? I think that this movie, because of the script changes and the director changes, everybody have different visions of movies. And in order to achieve a certain vision, you have to see it through to the end, and you have to get the right people in place.
Yeah.
Um, we had the Doctor Strange movie, and it felt like a tale of two movies because they had two directors, and it did that. It did exactly what it did. Sam Raimi told his story, and it wasn't a horror film like they wanted it to be. They wanted it to be a horror film. I just hope that this film stays true to the initial vision, so they can, put a good film out. But I believe it'll be a good film. I think they have a lot to live up to, especially with the first Blade movie.
Yeah. So, there's actually some more Marvel stuff, and this is something Cog would like, man. There's a lot of information going around about Fantastic Four.
Ooh, yeah.
So it looks like, how do we feel about it being placed in the 60s? That's what it looks like it's doing. You think
Supposed to be.
60s is kind of crazy to me, though.
But that's when, okay, they will live in an eternal type of lifespan in the Marvel universe. But the way those comic books were told, they had a purity to it, and that's when like TV was new for us and how the world was new for us. They will explore it in that way. We were going to space, and it can be told that way. They're supposed to be the first family. It could be told that way because we had different takes on them. So this could this could work, and it would explain why they were absent during all that Avengers stuff, right?
Yeah, and one of the things that looks like is they're going to start filming in January.
Good.
When do you think the time frame you would expect in January?
Probably 2 years out.
2 years.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four. We gotta wait 2 years to watch.
I could wait. They have enough stuff.
Who do you think's a good person, man? Who do you think is
Adam
that bad
Driver
guy?
as Mr. Fantastic.
Huh?
The
Talk about as
bad
that
guy. The
bad
first
guy.
bad guy has to be the Mole Man. Has to be the Mole Man. And everybody's
It's rumored it's Galactic.
Huh?
It's rumored it's Galactic.
Galactus?
Galactus.
Yeah, they will probably see Galactus at the end of the movie, but their first villain was the Mole Man.
So you think it will be something like in Doctor Strange where they introduced the Dark Sorcerer dude, and then at the end of the movie they introduced that entity. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. They listen. The first character has to be the Mole Man. They have not made the Mole Man yet. They need to do the Mole Man. Stop worrying about getting to Doom. Don't worry about getting to Galactus. You could talk about Galactus as an imminent threat coming to the planet, yeah, at some point in time. But these guys are going to do something. I mean, it may start off in the 60s, but they're going to do something that they're away from the planet during this period of time, and they're going to come back in present time, right? Because these characters have to interact with the Avengers, other heroes in present time. So it makes sense. Yeah, they happen there at this time. The story is going to be the Mole Man. It has to be. I won't accept it if they try to sidestep him. That character is very fundamentally grounded. Another Freudian slip, because the Mole Man lives under the ground. Grounded in Fantastic Four lore, and no one has tackled that villain first, and it needs to be.
All right, so it looks like to me, I guess I would prefer Doctor Doom, but I feel like they're going to save him for
He's a big
day.
bad.
Yeah,
He's a big bad. You better not mess up bringing Doom to the big screen in the Disney Marvel way. And that character needs to have the reverence it's due. Like Doom, like I got Doom right there. I have Doom right here. I have a whole cell with Dr. Doom over here, and he's probably my best villain, my greatest villain of all time. So no, you have to build up to that character, because that character, he's what Marvel wanted to be, the biggest bad. Thanos was the people's champ.
So it does look like we have some rumored casting for the Fantastic Four. Now, what I want you to do, King, is when I tell you the name.
Yo,
What?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I know what you're gonna do, and if they do this to my beloved Thing, he's down at the bottom cell right there in my Fantastic Four cell. If they do what they think they're going to do,
Is it start with an S?
if they're gonna gender swap the Thing,
Oh, in my notes, the rumored for the Thing is Seth Rogen.
I don't care. Good. I don't. He's a guy. Good. I don't care. I don't care.
So I actually think that would be a problem if they did that, because they would have to change that whole character look of the Thing.
There's the CGI.
CGI. I feel you.
He's a rock creature. It's cool. I don't care. Do not change him until I heard some gender swap and stuff. If you I would boycott that movie on the highest order. I don't care how great it turns out. I would boycott that movie. I didn't boycott when they turned Johnny Storm black. I wanted to see the take on it, and it was a good. I like my Johnny Storms, blonde hair, blue eyes, surfer boy dudes, airhead, hothead guys. I like it true to the source material. So when they gave me their take on Johnny Storm and this guy that plays Creed played him, it was a good character. It was a good change, but I like when Chris Evans played Johnny Storm. I like that.
I think he did a good Chris. He is the only person to ever play two Marvel characters
successfully, right? Because he was believable as Johnny Storm, and his range as a character, as an actor, he was able to play Captain America and transcend, correctly.
If you really sit and you think about it, they're two entirely different characters.
Completely. Because you have Johnny Storm, who is a hothead, who is all about flash. He has no substance as a person, right? And throughout the books, they always tried to give Johnny Storm substance. Captain America has so much substance and so much morals, and he thinks about things, and he's a strategist, and he's a leader of men. Johnny Storm is not a leader of men. And to play both of those characters and do it convincingly, I think Chris Evans is highly underrated, but he did a great job, and I'm glad that Disney and Marvel got him.
So I see Tyler's popped in. Can you hear us, Tyler?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. A little late. Pile up on the highway,
No problem. We got Tyler here because we told you Tyler will be back when we have these special event movies.
Yeah, he actually is the one that gave me these notes for the show.
It's my guy. Y'all saw him at PAX, right? Y'all saw Tyler. If y'all didn't get a chance to see the videos, go check it out when we did the live at PAX with Tyler there.
Where we at? What are we talking about?
So right now we're talking about the casting. It looks like Mr. Fantastic is rumored to have Adam Driver. Who is that?
I'm with that.
Well, what is he playing? Because look, I know faces. I don't know names. All right,
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I'm gonna be honest. I'm not an Adam Driver fan all that much.
Did you see the movie 65?
I did not. No.
See it. I think it should be popping up right now on one of your streaming services.
All right.
See it and get back to me.
All right.
I mean, really get back to me. Like as soon as you see it, I don't care. Tweet me, text me, whatever. After you finish, I think that showed his range as an actor. I know Kylo Ren is a misunderstood character. I don't really like him too much because he's too whiny for me. I don't like how they used his direction, but this movie itself allowed him to act to his capabilities.
All right, that's fair. I'll check that out. Because I think I've only seen him in Star Wars, so just going off that, not the biggest fan.
So it's looking like it's rumored. over there, they call him Miss Invisible or
The Invisible Woman.
The Invisible Woman is going to be Margaret Robbie. So how do we feel about that? Because that's the Harley Quinn chick, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of crazy. She playing a DC and a Marvel character. I don't know. They might get rid of her in DC at this point. But I don't know. I don't see her as that character. I don't know why. Like for some reason, I'm not with that casting. If that is the actual one.
This would prove if she has range or not.
Yeah, it would. It would give her. I don't think I'm talking about for what's best for the character, not what's best for the actress. You know what I'm saying? I think this is best for the actress, but is it best for the character, the Invisible?
Yeah, if she can give you Sue Storm. See, all right. So the difference between Harley Quinn and Sue Storm is Harley Quinn is a schizophrenic, paranoid, delusional ex-psychiatrist who has no boundaries, be it sexual or on the violent side. Sue Richards, integrity, morals, principle. She's a mother. She's the first family. So she's the person that she's like the president's wife, right? Can she transcend? Can she do
She's
the Chris
the first
Evans?
of her name?
Exactly. Can she transcend like Chris Evans did? I want to see, and I'm not going to give. I don't think that to say that she can't do it might. I don't want to damage the character. I think she has range because I didn't think when she was going to be Harley Quinn, she would have held her own and actually made that movie when she was going to opposite side Will Smith, because I thought Will Smith was the big catch going into Suicide Squad.
And I thought he did a good job in Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
she did a good job. I'll give her that. Because we have seen her be successful in these variety of different acting parts. I will say that I'm more open to seeing her. It's just as of what I've seen of her, I don't think she's a good Invisible Woman. But knowing because she has done a good job and she has shown up, she at least deserves the opportunity to do it. But to me, like these characters isn't like a one and done type of movie thing. Like most likely they're going to be there for a minute, and the wrong casting can be devastating to the whole brand.
3 years. I mean, 3 movies.
At least.
What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, she might be able to do it. She might have the range, but she needs to channel Sue Storm. She's very independent, very strong, maybe one of the strongest female leads in Marvel. Yeah. She married and a mom, but she don't need anybody else if she doesn't. So she has to channel that independent, strong-willed. I'm a big sister. I'm a wife. But I'm also can be the leader if I need to be and step up and take care of business. Yep. So, yeah, it really comes down to her range. And most of this is speculation right now. Obviously, we haven't heard anything from Marvel. She could do it if she has the range. I like her as an actress, but it really comes down to if she's able to pull off what she's going to have to pull off, because that's a big role. Yep. Like King said, that's at least 3 movies, if not more. From the things I've heard, the Fantastic Four going forward is going to be the mainstay of Marvel going forward. So these are big roles.
And what's funny is I would say by the time that happens, then they'll start introducing X-Men.
Yeah, they're going to be doing a whole bunch of diverse things at that period of time, establishing a new Marvel. We're seeing remnants of that happening now. The new Marvel and what they plan on doing going forward. And I think they started planting seeds, especially in this last trilogy with the Guardians of the Galaxy. They started planting seeds in what is to come and what you can look forward to as far as character development.
So, Human Torch, Mason Gooding, it looks like he was Chad in Scream. I guess that's the last Scream, Tyler?
Yeah, these last 2 Scream movies, he was the brother and sister that were in them.
Yeah.
He's the brother.
The one that got punched in the mouth. The dude that was on the train with the curly hair dude.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah. I like him. I'll take it.
Yeah. I'm indifferent about that. I do think that the Human Torch, even though I would say is one of the most like outgoing and one of the most probably requires a lot of acting to perform like his persona. There's like 100 white dudes in every city that acts just like him. So like I feel like he's the easiest to cast realistically. Like
Yeah, yeah. I
and
think that guy could pull it off.
the thing, rumored to be Seth Rogen.
Let's go.
I don't know. I don't feel that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not feeling that. I don't know why. I mean, the thing is kind of comedic. So maybe
he got his little jokes here and there. Listen, you're gonna have comedy satire from The Thing and The Human Torch, right? You're going to have that because Sue is not a comedian and Reed Richards isn't either, right? So that movie would fall flat if you didn't have some comedic relief, and it has to come from the Thing and The Human Torch because that's where the jokes are in the books. So
I feel you on that. What do you feel about that, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, it's all CGI, maybe a little mocap, but it's going to be a lot of CGI. If Seth Rogen has an interest in being in the MCU, why not put him as the Thing? He has the voice for it.
Yep.
He has the comedy for it. If him and Mason Gooding can go well together in their chemistry, then why not? Those are all really well-known actors, except for the Torch, that if they have the ability and the time, they're willing to put in the time to do it. I mean, we've already had 2 chances at the Fantastic Four, and I'm kind of like a superhero super fan when it comes to the movie, so I didn't hate the original Fantastic Four movies. I enjoyed them for what they were.
Yeah.
But we haven't had one at the level of these MCU movies. So whoever they cast, they have to be really sure that these guys click well and they're willing to put in the work because this is their biggest chance to knock it out of the park. You
can argue if they mess up these casting, it would literally be one of the biggest devastations to the Marvel universe right now.
How many castings have Marvel messed up?
Not many, but all it takes is something with this Fantastic Four is like a dynamic set of people, and I feel like it's easier to mess up those chemistries than it is the individual people, because individually they could do well, but if they don't do good chemistry wise, then it's hard. How many times besides like Guardians of the Galaxy has Marvel made like movies that are dedicated to multiple heroes at the same time that they had to have good chemistry?
It has to be the director.
Yeah.
The director has to understand screen time and how characters interact with each other. And, for all the stuff that James Gunn has been eviscerated for, he's a hell of a director, and he can do multiple characters and give them the right amount of screen time to show development like no other. So yeah, they need the proper director that can handle big characters. I mean, Adam Driver, Margaret Robbie. I mean, it's Seth Rogen. These are big actors, and to be able to give the development that is needed, that director, I'm begging for the Russo brothers, right? But that director has to understand the dynamic between group interaction.
All right, so let's, we're hitting on the 5:20. I want it to be about 20 minutes of this because King got places to go.
I can't be that long. 5:30 got to be.
Yeah, so let's get into the Guardians of the Galaxy from here on. Spoiler alert. So let's start with our guest, Tyler. How did you feel about it, man? Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3's out in the wild. We all three seen it. How did you feel about it?
Man, I loved it. Honestly, I thought it was great. I think I'm more positive when it comes to you two with some of the Marvel movies because there's some that I know you guys didn't like that I enjoyed enough. But man, it gave you everything you wanted in Guardians: action, comedy, emotion. Even some of the recent movies that I liked that not everyone else liked, I could still say, hey, this was missing a lot. I feel like this is the prime example of what they need to going forward. A director that understands the characters, the actors that want to put the time into them, and the writing and the story to say, this is what a Marvel movie is. This is how we make our movies. And this is what Marvel fans expect from their movies. I enjoyed it. I loved it. There's some nitpicking stuff that I'll point out when it comes to like Adam Warlock. I don't think they used him to his full extent.
I think that was deliberate, though. I think that was deliberate because if he would have been out there doing what he's supposed to, the movie would have been over in 10 minutes. So I think they deliberately like nerfed him for this movie.
I don't think. I'll get to when it's my turn.
All right, so King,
go ahead.
King, let's. Me and you talk briefly, not much, because we try to keep our opinions to ourselves. But how'd you feel about it, man?
I cried like 4 times in this movie. I thought that this movie, James Gunn understood exactly how you can reach somebody, reach deep inside somebody, and pull out the emotions that you want to pull out. Because first of all, kids and animals, I'm a sucker for, absolute sucker for, and
they knew what they were doing with that.
Hey, boy, did he not tell a story right from the rip? First of all, I'm on record saying this is the best trilogy that Marvel Disney has to offer. Right, from the first movie to the second movie to the third movie, it built from a crescendo, and it gave you everything. I will put this trilogy up against any trilogy in Marvel because, you know, Captain America had a drop off. One movie was a drop off, the first one.
Yeah.
Thor had a drop off in the Dark World.
Second movie.
It is the second movie. You know, it's just there's always but this one, not Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy has a great formula.
When we head out, because this one I don't really want to focus too much on spoilers because I do feel like when we do spoilers, we scare people out of the room.
Yeah.
So for the most part, the reason I say spoilers is because in case someone slips, you've been warned. But for the most part, we're going to try to stay away from spoilers. I liked it. First off, I will say I think people are capping on the internet. It is a good movie. It's a fantastic movie, and you know, people using statements like it's the best since before Phase 4. You're right, but at the end of the day, that's not really saying much. I would say the only movie that was better than this in Phase 4 was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Better than this, though?
I think Spider-Man was better than this.
I thought Spider-Man was good. I thought Spider-Man was an apex predator, but this movie, it's a monster of a movie because you had the MacGuffin. You thought Adam Warlock was the MacGuffin that they was going to use to take down the High Evolutionary, but they gave you the MacGuffin inside the movie so early on that you were overlooked it when the moment of truth happened. And you thought back to it and was like, they showed it to me and I didn't recognize it for what it was. And I thought it was something trivial, but it wasn't something trivial. It was something that was integral to the film. But you fell for the low-hanging fruit in Adam Warlock thinking this is going to be the reason why. Because after they did something to Adam Warlock's lineage, he had the motivation to finish off the High Evolutionary and get past what happened to him. The true motivation was what happened to Rocket and how that affected the whole team when they got a chance to see exactly what happened to Rocket and the reason why Rocket is who he is and why he's so angry and why he's so standoffish and why he's who he is. We got a real reason, and it was a real reason for them all to hate the High Evolutionary. So when the end scene happens, that's the reason why it had to happen how it did. They wasn't ducking any fades, and they went into this. We have the Angry Therapist MD. What's up, brother, with the $5 super chat? I love this movie. It shows everyone's growth over all the movies. Perfectly set.
Great thing to say. I do feel like they did a fantastic job with it. Obviously, the ending is open for interpretation on what happens. What I like is like they did something where it's like, look, we're putting this down, but we could pick it up at any time, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I think that's the end of them.
I don't think they'll be together in the same movie ever again, but I think they'll use them individually from time to time.
You talk about the characters themselves after what they did. Okay, so there's something called the King Wars, right? And that's a book that I think
The King Wars
is the King, King.
I was gonna say, what was the general that was on IOP? Was he on that?
He's not Captain King. It's okay. So the King Wars precipitates annihilation, and they took a lot. James Gunn is a very astute comic book reader and respects the law of the comic books, especially down to aesthetics of the costumes. And he did so because the costumes that you saw in this movie was from the King's War, which was really done well. That book, totally different. He takes his own take on it, but the growth in the characters there was more cerebral, and he took that cerebral approach because you have Mantis growing, you had Nebula grow into the person that she was supposed to be. Even Gamora, who is not the Gamora that we know, had a level of growth in that character, but stayed true to Gamora from the books, who we expected her to be. Star-Lord had growth. We're coming to grips with what is transpiring. You know, of course, Rocket and Groot. We're not going to overlook the fact that he went from baby Groot to teenage Groot to the Giga Chat.
He went from like regular Groot to baby Groot to teenage Groot to like around where he was at the beginning to, oh my God, what is that? Like,
yeah, Giga Chat.
Yeah.
So I feel you on that, man. I feel you guys on that. I think that it was a solid foundation of a movie. I like how they entertained like the Gamora and Star-Lord thing, but they left that up for interpretation. It's like he's starting to slowly win her over again, but then they're like, okay, we're gonna let you guys decide what happened with that. Like,
yeah.
So Tyler, you know, we're closing out here soon. What do you think?
Talking about like popcorn wise?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, obviously 5 is the highest that we give here. I'm gonna have to say 5. I don't usually do that, but because you know I always think something can be better for most of the time. But boy, if you're gonna give something 5, this is the closest you're gonna get to it. I feel like everything they did just hit. You laughed when you're supposed to laugh. You got emotional when you're supposed to get emotional. I mean, every aspect of this movie just hit you in the feels one way or another. Yep. So for me, it'd be 5 for sure.
What about you, King? What is yours? Is it 5 with Tyler, or are you gonna be reasonable with that?
I have to address people talking about Adam Warlock. What you got in this movie from Adam Warlock is called him. When Adam Warlock was initially introduced and he fought Thor, he was named him, 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 and that's the character you got here.
Is he like lore wise just as strong as Thor or stronger?
Stronger.
No way.
If you saw the stuff that you saw him doing, that's him in his infancy, because he came out of that cocoon too early. He's gonna go back in the cocoon. He's gonna come out as Adam. He's gonna come out as Warlock. He's a mental midget right now because his growth was stunted by coming out too early.
And I like how they did it.
They explained it.
They introduced him as a character and gave plot to why he ain't clapping people. Like
exactly, but he showed up and he didn't.
Think they picked a good person to play him?
Yeah,
I liked him.
Yeah, he did a good job. I love the power set. I love the fact that they showed his power set. And I know a lot of people are going to say he was supposed to embody the High Evolutionary. Use your mind, please. The High Evolutionary used a fundamental element to neutralize Adam Warlock's superiority.
And not to mention he knew his weakness too. Like he
Of
knew
course.
exactly how to handle Adam. Like
Yeah, and he did it with no problem. Very quickly, very decisive, and calculating, like a high evolutionary supposed to be.
he was dominant, that's for sure.
I give it 5 popcorn. If I can give it 6 popcorn, I will. I'm gonna go see it again this week. I'm gonna take all my boys to go see it, and gonna go to the boxing gym and go watch some Guardians of the Galaxy. If I can give it 6, I would give it 6. I thought James Gunn, as a director, gave everybody the screen time and the ability to grow. He was a blessing. I wish whatever happened to him didn't happen to him. I wish he would have been able to take over phase 4, because I get a chance to see exactly what his style is and how truly blessed Warner Brothers is to get him. And I know for a fact, if he brings, I cannot wait to see what his Superman movie is going to be, because this guy is a master director, and this was how you direct. He showed you how you direct, and it's every little scene, from them putting up the sign of Guardians of the Galaxy to what happens to that sign and how you feel, because they had pride putting it up. So it introduced little things to it. The guy is a master.
Yeah, when it comes to James Gunn, you don't have to look any further than the fact that DC chose to choose him over The Rock. They're like, no, we trust this dude. Okay, you're an egotistic maniac. You want everything revolved around you. This dude actually wants to build a universe.
And he probably already had it laid out and showed it to him on the table.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to me, I'm going to give it a 4. You get that, King.
Okay, we have the Angry Therapist MD with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. It's a super $5. I am now more excited for James Gunn in the Superman movie. See, look at like minds think the same. Angry Therapist. Like minds think the same.
I think when it comes to it, the reason I'm giving it a 4 is because I felt like they promoted this as like the end all be all. We're putting everything on the line, and I felt like there was nothing on the line by the end of the movie.
Because you didn't get. I'm trying not to spoil it for anybody that didn't see it. You didn't get what you thought would happen.
Yeah, and that's more about like personal expectations, but the way they marketed it made me feel that way.
Good marketing.
So before still a fantastic movie, I think this is definitely worth watching in the movie theater. Definitely go watch it in the movie theater. It's the best Marvel movie they've made in a long time. Overall general good Marvel movie. I might like the internals, but it's got a lot of flaws. But this is an overall good movie. So let's say what you say.
No, go ahead. I
was gonna say we're gonna go ahead and start closing this out. King, what's going on with you, man?
We have Devin Haney versus Lomachenko on the 20th. It's going to be a crazy fight. So Combat Talk with the King will be there. Iron Lords podcast Sundays at 1 p.m. If you didn't see the last show, go see it so you can understand who Captain King is. And you must hold the line. It will definitely bring tears to your eyes and laughter to your stomach. So make sure you don't have to fart, because it's going to come out.
And Tyler, man, what's going on with you?
Not much. You guys see me when I come on here, and besides that, you guys will see me in the chats. Iron Lord podcast, I'm usually watching. If I'm not on here, I'm definitely watching and talking to everybody. So that's really about it. So
yeah, and I want to thank everyone for coming through. We had up to I think 50 some in here. The show's growing. We're gonna find good ways of having fun on this show. I'm gonna send you guys over there to Wandering Dutch, man. Go over there, tell them Addict King, tell them R&R sent you from Iron Lords podcast.
We got 15,000 subs.
15,000.
We're about to give away a console. We said once we get to 15,000, there's a console coming out. And listen, man. If you're down for that PC Master Race, you might get a Steam Deck. Yay!
So we're gonna go ahead and end it on that. I'm gonna send you guys over there to Wandering